And here I am, John. So I'm not a 17-year-old anymore, John. I'll be 60 in 2 weeks.
Was anybody ever 17 years old?
Hello.
Hello.
You know, John, I think we all were back in the day.
I think so.
Hi, John.
Hi, Ellen.
Oh, I gotta put my headphones in here.
And I see Bob Primavera has joined us.
Oh my goodness. Hey, Bob.
Wow.
This is John Bell from the class of 1979. And I can't believe I recognize you. You're a little grayer than you were when you were a young man.
Again, the boss.
I can't hear you, Bob.
Oh, let me get,
You're good now.
I am?
Unmuted, you're good.
Okay.
Hello.
Hello, Mike.
Oh.
Hey, Steve.
My goodness,
Hi,
there's
Heather.
Mike Bloom.
Hi, John.
Welcome.
Hi, John Baum and Bob Primavera. My goodness. It's only been about 40 years since I've seen you.
Only 40, yes.
Hello, Bob.
Hi.
Shocking, isn't it?
By the way, greetings from Palm Desert, California.
Oh, I don't know.
Okay.
Greetings,
Here at
greetings
South
from the
Beach.
San Francisco Bay.
Uh-huh.
Where are you, Bob?
South Beach.
Isn't he with Ann from the
Is that
Miami.
right?
Yes, I love it.
I live in Coral Springs. I'm about 40 minutes from you.
Ah, okay.
See, and I'm right here in beautiful downtown Brentwood.
Steve, did you say you're in Coral Springs?
Yes.
I was offered a teaching job in Coral Springs teaching physics some years ago.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been here for 18 years.
Wow.
Okay.
So I left New York in 1983.
Joanne?
Oh my goodness, it's Vita.
I'm here.
How are you feeling? I'm sorry.
Okay. Today was a rough day, but I'm okay.
Oh, good.
Glad you
That's
could it, Joanne. Thank you for coming. This is wonderful.
You're
Hi,
welcome.
Joanne.
Here's Tori and Vita.
Wow, Tori, look at a woman.
It's Bob. Hi, Bob.
Yeah, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm very good.
Oh, wow. I have such good memories of walking around the gardens and everything. And you're,
That's right.
yeah.
Wow.
Bob Primavera, I have to ask, do you have a relation to Lenny Primavera?
To who?
Lenny Primavera?
No.
Excuse me for interrupting, but Conrad is trying to get in here. Conrad?
I'm here.
Okay.
Wow.
Wow, Conrad.
The problem is that my hearing is so fragile, and I'll take them off, and so you can look at my wrinkles.
No, keep
How
them
about
on,
that?
Conrad. I find I hear much better with the headphones as well.
There is a glare here, and I'm not certain where it's from, but I'm not supposed to know these things, am
It's
I?
probably the nearest source of light.
Oops.
A little too dark, Conrad.
Well, in any
Conrad,
event,
can you hear us?
here I
Conrad, can
am.
you hear us?
Pleased to be here.
Can you hear us?
Primavera!
Yes. How you doing, Conrad?
That's a long time ago, isn't it?
Oh, not that long. Only 40 years.
I know, it's all a long time ago.
It's all a long time ago.
Hey,
Conrad,
Bob.
it is wonderful, Conrad, to see you. Absolutely
Yes.
wonderful to see you, Conrad.
I'm pleased to be here and see as many of our students and faculty as it is possible to see on one of these things.
Conrad, you may not have put the name with the face, but that person who was just talking to you was from the class of 1979, and I know you remember him, John Baum.
John, Bless you.
I remember you well, John.
Oh, thank you. No, this is really remarkable because I left New York so long ago. I haven't been at any of the reunions, and I haven't been back to New York very many times in the last 30 years even. So this is just wonderful, absolutely wonderful.
It is an amazing
Where
thing.
did the time go?
A blink of an eye, John.
Really, it's amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Think about how
Like this.
fast the past year went.
I have,
Michael Ross has joined us.
Hello, everybody.
Hey,
Hi.
Mike.
Hi, Mike.
Hi, Mike.
good day, sir.
Hi.
Hello,
Everybody's
Vita.
still on.
I'm sorry.
John, what do you do now?
Well, I've been an attorney for the last 30 years, I guess 30 years. I live in the San Francisco area on an island. I have married with 2 children. I'm a very active sailor. And this past summer, I would have done a sailboat race to Hawaii if it hadn't been for the pandemic. So, and that is my 12-year-old son.
Wow.
But I've stayed in touch with Lisa Loeffler, who lives near me in the Bay Area.
Oh
But
my
other than
goodness.
that, this is the
Oh, yeah,
first
that's
time
amazing.
I've seen so many of you in close to 40 years. It's really remarkable.
You're unmuted. There's just no video.
What kind of attorney are you? A good one?
I do trademark, a good one. Yeah, I don't hurt anybody. I do trademark and copyright law. So, you know, I work with people who are coming up with new ideas and new products, and it's, you know, it's always a lot of fun. There's always something new that I'm learning. And so, yeah, but you know, I'm nearing 60. I'll be 60 years old in a couple of weeks, and I'm already thinking about retirement. How did that happen?
It's
Hey,
a
John,
question
you
we
have
all
something
ask
in-
ourselves.
We have something in common. I've done quite a bit of patent writing over the years with working with patent attorneys and patent agents.
Wow. Okay, well, you know, maybe this is a chance to reconnect and to find out what everybody else has been doing. It is nice to see you, Mike.
Johanna, I haven't seen you in forever.
Well, here I am. How are
Yes,
you?
here you are. Very well. How are you? You look terrific.
Thank you. How are you?
Holy crap, I have-
Good?
You're kind of vibrating. Do you have 2 mics going on?
Yeah, I'm getting feedback.
There's feedback coming in from somewhere.
I don't know how to get on. Start video. Okay, wait a minute.
There you
Here
are.
I am. Okay.
I hung up.
Oh my gosh. Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Hi, Camille.
Hi, Camille. How are you? Oh, my goodness. Oh, never ends. It's one thing after the other. Hold on a second. My friend
She
just
hasn't
got back
changed.
this morning.
No.
Camille just got on.
Okay.
Hi, honey. How are you?
Bob, are you still in New York?
Who,
Yes,
me?
I'm home. What
Bob,
Oh,
What?
are you still in New York?
No, I'm in South Beach, Miami.
Oh my goodness.
I love it here.
Oh.
It's cold today. Went down to 62 degrees. It was freezing.
Oh, my heart.
Oh, yeah.
It went up to about 25 here.
yeah.
It went up to about 72 here.
We took our coats off when it hit 50.
What?
Oh. I have gloves.
Oh my goodness.
That's funny.
Oh, well, that's awesome.
I don't think I've said hello to you, Steve. Steve Springer, everybody, is right in the middle of my screen here. I don't know where it
Hello.
is on everybody else's screen.
Where is he?
I know they're,
Good
they're
to
all in
see you.
different places. It's like
Oh,
the Brady Bunch.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
You don't know who that is?
Johanna, do you have snow?
Let's see.
Yes, and we have ice. It snowed and it didn't snow much, about 2 inches here. Then it melted, then it froze. So we've had a sheet of ice on the entire driveway yesterday and today. Very, very treacherous.
Where
So
are you,
I'm going
Johanna?
out- At East Hampton.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
you're still here on the island.
Yeah, yeah. And where are you? You have a wonderful.
I'm in Brentwood. I'm still in Brentwood.
And look at that background.
too.
behind you.
Well, that background is Lake Wabika, Connecticut.
That looks like Brentwood. That looks really nice.
Right now?
But that's what my backyard looks like, actually.
Uh-huh,
It's
I bet
covered
it-
in snow.
Yeah, right. That's right. Yeah.
We had about 8 inches here.
That's right. You got a lot more.
When I
You got a lot
home. I
more.
just got home
Yeah.
from my lunch.
Hi, everyone. Oh my God. I don't know if you can see me. I don't know how to do this. Am I doing it right?
You're doing great.
Oh, okay. Somebody talk to me. Okay, wonderful.
Want to say hello, Naomi, to everybody.
Hi, John.
Hi, Conrad.
Hi, Heather. Hi. How are we doing? I know. Are we focused? I don't know. Okay. This is a very strange experience. I guess all you've been doing this, right?
A few
For a
times.
while.
Couple of
The
times.
Zooming thing.
Some of us have.
Some of us do it every day with first graders.
Ah,
Oh my
Uh,
God, that's gotta be hard.
That's a challenge.
It's a nightmare.
try to massage somebody by Zoom. It's really interesting. No, okay. Actually back to work, but I think they're going to close me down again.
Where are you teaching?
No, I don't teach. I'm a massage therapist.
Oh, who was
Oh.
saying the first graders? I was just.
Somebody was teaching.
That
the
was
first-
That was Tori.
Tori.
Yeah.
Tori, is that you?
Yeah.
That's you, Tori? Oh my God. Oh my God.
I don't mean to interrupt.
You just turned 49.
Oh my God.
No.
Finally.
I just turned 49. That's
So
Can I
finally
interrupt?
Gino decided to join us.
Gino's there.
Yep, he's
Oh
that looks
my
like him
goodness.
connecting. Yeah, that's Gino connecting.
Can I say a quick
That's-
hello to Johanna? I haven't spoken with her.
Hi, Camille.
Hello. Oh my gosh.
How are you?
I'm good. The
Oh
one
my God.
reunion that you went to, I had to miss because I think my mother had
I
died.
know.
Oh, there he is.
Hit and miss, hit and miss.
Oh
But it's
my
good to
gosh, you
see
look
you.
wonderful.
Thanks. So do you. You look great. Everything good with you?
Yeah, everything is good.
Good.
I had a friend of mine, her mother passed away this morning, so
Oh.
that was the phone call that I had to take. She just
Oh,
got
that's too
cancer.
bad. Such a terrible time of year, too.
I'm so happy to be at this meeting and see everybody. And Joanne, real? Oh my God.
I'm here.
How you doing, sweetheart?
I'm okay, hanging in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks.
Oh, good for you. Oh, John, thank you.
Camille, where are you? Where are you? What are you doing?
Brooke.
No, what's that room you're in?
Oh my gosh, this is my,
That's our home office.
I have cookie houses behind me because I made a bunch of them and I'm going to be decorating them with my grandchildren. And
Oh.
this is basically my junk room, my office. It's my everything room. And I'm a bit of a pack rat, so I've got a lot of stuff in here. And I
It
have
looks
my
good,
kitty
It
Camille.
looks very
cat
lived
lab.
in.
But, I wish I had a
Oh,
better
Frida.
camera. That everybody's got their laptops, which is nice because you can see them forward. Mine's kind of up on top. I
Yeah.
can't really get it to go forward looking at me, otherwise I'll lose it. But I don't care. I'm so happy to see everybody. What I do have to do is get my friend to change me from the boss to my name because I don't like seeing the boss. I am not a boss. and a lot of times people don't know what my name is.
Rita,
So
come
I'm
here.
not liking that. Hello, Tori. Hi, Vita.
Hi.
I want to say hello to Patrick Brennan, who joined.
Hey, guys.
Hi,
How are you?
Patrick.
Hi.
Hey, John.
Hi, Naomi. Steve,
Hi.
how are you doing with your change, with the big changes going on in your life too?
Oh my God. So many changes. Which one?
Not
Steve and Janito.
Steve and Janito.
Oh,
Steve,
Steve. Yeah.
Hello.
tell us
Right?
how you're making out.
Everything's coming along, John.
Good. Where are you now? Are you in Florida or are you here?
No, I'm in New York. I'm going to be leaving after Christmas.
To go
Down there.
permanently or temporarily to Florida?
No, I'll be back January 4th.
Oh.
Am I going to see you before you leave?
Yes, dear.
Oh, good, honey. Thank you. I made a pot of soup today, but you weren't here.
What's that background you got? That's a cool
I
background.
know. We all want to be in her background.
I know, real. You know, if wait, I'll take it away and you'll see what my background really looks like.
Oh,
You'll
it
see.
doesn't look like my room, right?
Oh, well, wait. You might be surprised. Let's see.
I know, I'm embarrassed by the
That's
message.
amazing. How
Stuff
do
is
you know how to
up
do that? How do they know how to do
There. This is what my background really looks like.
Oh, that's
So, I mean, that's my office. That's my everything. But I've got, every time I see a picture that I really like, I change my background.
Oh, I like that better than the snow.
Well, you know, I wanted to be seasonally appropriate, though. I just kind of got this picture, and then I have this one. If I could
Oh,
be
I
in the
like that one,
mountains.
too.
I like the
you know,
sky.
I don't know. I just keep playing with it because it's fun.
Well, we
Yes,
can
it
look
is
out our
fun. I
window
like
and see snow, that's for sure.
I kind of like that one, actually.
Stephen, hello. How you
Hey,
feeling?
Frida? I don't know. Could you see her?
Stephen Springer.
Hi, Camille.
Ah, you
Hi,
cutie.
Mr. Hey, Stephen, the other
Yeah.
Stephen. Am I going to see you before you go or no?
Which Steve are you talking to?
She's
Well,
talking to you because she
sorry,
can't see me. I'm too far away.
That's right. Steve's
I
in
know.
Florida.
You know what? I can call you Gino. You're not Gino.
Yes.
You're Stephen. So
Right.
I don't know.
Okay.
Is there any more down here?
You're a very
Camille.
popular guy there.
Oh,
yes, he
If
is.
you
Oh
want
my
to see me,
God.
you can see me before I go.
Conrad.
Are you
I
still
see
going into the
Conrad.
office?
Do I what?
Are you still going into the office?
Yeah, every day.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm there every day. You know who left? Eric left.
Did he really?
He's in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, and he's retired as of the 28th,
Oh, he
Wow.
is.
but he'll come in as long as I need him. If I need him for a particular thing, he'll come in, you know?
Yeah, well, he's got the experience. I mean, he did it enough years.
Yeah, if I need a hand on the road, he'll come in and help me. But for now,
Eric
He's up-
didn't move to Pennsylvania?
he's in Pennsylvania, but his wife is working here at Stony Brook.
Oh,
Still?
she's still here.
And she got offered a big position there in administration, and I think she's going to take it. So that now she's going to be working for at least another year and a half to 2 years.
Oh my gosh, I thought she was going to retire.
Yes, until the state offered her this new advisory position, you know?
So he's
So-
up there with the grandchildren, right?
Yeah, but she's got half of them here at her daughter's house, you know?
Okay.
I don't know why it's so dark on this screen. It's like you
Mine's
can't see.
pretty dark too.
Can
I
you
don't
see?
know
What room
why.
you're in?
It's about your source of light, Steve.
Let me
Wherever
see
the
if I
light
can
is
make it
Yeah,
light.
you've got the light behind you.
behind you.
I'm gonna move into the kitchen.
Okay. Okay.
Steve,
I-
how's your birthday going at
Conrad
at your
doing?
gig?
Hello.
Hi, Conrad. What have you been doing?
We are on lockdown in my retirement community.
Still.
Everything has
Oh,
ended. We're getting our meals in paper bags dropped off at our door in our apartment. So it's a very muted kind of existence. I don't get to see other people. I don't get an opportunity to talk
That's a
to
little better.
other people. It's
So Conrad,
very
do
happy
you do
circumstance.
this Zoom a lot? Do you do it a lot?
We've
No.
done it about 3 times, Naomi.
That's
Yeah.
a lot.
But I, by the way, I have
Oh,
children.
What happened?
lost you for
You
a
just
second.
froze for a
Conrad.
minute.
I have 10 grandchildren now. I have 2 boys, 2 little boys, one who has marvelous looking red hair.
Oh.
Oh.
So I keep saying there's still a wee bit of ink in the system, but it's
I'm a grandma. I became a grandma. My granddaughter's going to be a year old.
Oh, the baby.
Monday.
Oh, nice.
And I can't, and they're in Maryland, and I can't see them because they're doctors, my daughter. So
Well, it's not just that.
it's what?
It snowed.
Oh, forget about the snow. I would have, well, maybe not in the storm, but I would have made an effort.
Yeah, you would have got a block.
I would have done something. I miss my little baby.
I
This is
know.
I'm sure you do.
Oh my God. So
Oh
I
my
have to
God,
think
my
about that.
granddaughter's gonna be, well, she's 2.5, and I can't imagine not being able to see her.
Hmm.
I'm very blessed
I
to
have
have her living very close to me.
How do I get the screen to see everybody?
Keep rotating.
In the upper corner, there should be something called gallery view. If you,
Oh,
if you-
yeah. Okay.
Are you on a computer or a phone or an
I'm on an
iPad?
iPhone.
Oh, there we go.
On your iPhone, you'll only be able, if you swipe to the left, you'll only be able to see 4 people at a time, Gino.
but you also, if you turn it sideways, Gino,
Yeah.
if you turn it into,
Oh,
yeah,
that's
There you go.
all right.
that makes a difference.
You should
That's
have
better.
everybody's face now, right?
Gino, I'm so glad that you got dressed for this one. On the last one, he was in his underwear. Okay.
Who you talking to?
You.
I'm in my underwear.
You still?
Naomi knows me really well. She knows my underwear, I tell you.
Wow. Conrad, have they started giving vaccines at your place?
No, not yet, but we've been, a couple of forms that we needed to fill out, and there are those who we were given the option of getting it when the vaccines, when they first came out. We were given an option to wait, and there were some who decided not to get the vaccine at all. But at our age, in the community in which I live, I guess we're all among those who are considered vulnerable. But I'm ready. I'm not unwilling to go ahead when they come to us and ask us whether we wish to participate. I think it's an essential that we trust what the scientists have told us, and we've been told an awful lot of silliness, and I think we're ready to absorb the truth.
Good. Yeah.
Can I jump in? I want to explain the back picture to what we're seeing. These invitations this time were sent out to approximately 45, 46 people. So we have here, thank God that you've shown up, we have here probably half that number, I'm guessing. And 2 of the people that I invited, and I was assuming were going to be able to be here, were the person,
Yeah.
a friend of Milt Seiler, has taken care of all of the personal decisions that had to be made for him, in as much as he died intestate. In other words, he died without a will, and everything, all the decisions about what would happen with his body and everything else had to be made were made by a friend who he taught with at Martin Luther King High School. And that's the last Zoom we had was, let me think, yes, the last Zoom, Milt was there for the last Zoom.
No.
No, it was after.
The one before that. The one before that. That's right. We did have one after Milt passed away. And Lonnie was his friend from Martin Luther King High School. I thought she might be coming tonight, as well as Milt's personal assistant. And because some of you will probably know that Milt lost his, legally, he was declared legally blind. And because of a loss of his vision, he required a personal assistant to be with him in his apartment where he lived on the west side of Manhattan alone. And his name was Pablo. And Pablo was, I thought, going to show up, and he may still show up tonight. But
Is Lonnie going to be able to make it tonight?
what's that?
Is Lonnie going to make it tonight?
She's not here, so I don't know the
I
answer
know
to
the
that.
last time when she tried to come on, she had a very hard time. She couldn't speak. We saw her, but she couldn't hear us, and we couldn't hear her. So she was just kind of watching us, and she was writing to me.
Okay.
I was trying to fill her in, but it might be difficulties on her end.
I was hoping that by now she might have resolved that, and we could not just see her, but speak with her.
Well, I had trouble getting on myself, and I don't even know what I did to do it again. I really don't.
Okay.
You know, in the very beginning, when you sign on, it gives you the option of audio and video. So you have the option of watching and communicating at the very beginning.
Okay.
How's Laura? Has Laura come on?
She was invited to come, but Lisa has not given me, or I don't have her email address. And her son Michael is now living with her, and either one of them would probably have been in a position to help her get on, because Laura is experiencing some particular difficulties in terms of his short-term memory. And I was hoping that one of her kids, even, what's the youngest daughter's name?
Karen.
Karen, yeah. Even Karen could have helped her because I sent her an invitation to join us tonight. I was hoping that they would be able to get here. But because of the number, not everybody has provided their email addresses, either to Judy Freilicher on the Maslow-Toffler website, or through the system gotten it to somebody who has eventually gotten it on our list of people who we are in touch with. So we did the best we could to reach as many people to let them know that this was happening. Whether or not it's going to continue and whether we're going to continue to do this will be up to us. I know I feel inadequate without Heather being with me, and it's sometimes a hardship for her to be with me to help me. So I know that, Michael, you had offered assistance. Were we to call upon you, perhaps you will be in a position to help with some meetings going forward. I don't think that we'll be doing this all that often, perhaps again in the spring or in the summer. We certainly always met in the summer. Maybe by this summer, we'll be in a better position pandemic-wise than we are right now. But if we would like to repeat this performance again in the spring and then push it off until late summer, we might consider doing that. But as and I don't mean to be long-winded, but I want to give you some of this background. As I was looking at the email addresses that we have for people that we can confirm are correct email addresses, I began to realize something, and it struck me as being profound. There are a lot of people who we have known in our years together that even though when we were all together, we spent maybe 10 months, maybe at the least together, and then we went out into the world. And here we are 40 years after that time, and we're talking to one another again. And for some of you, it's not 40 years, but a little less than that. I started looking at the people we had lost, and every time I came to a name, I realized how much that person had affected my life. How in the short time that we had known one another, in some cases we were colleagues and we were working together and we knew one another for 10 years or whatever the period of time was. But I want to read you this list of names and ask you to think about that person if you knew them. Maybe you didn't know them, but if you knew them, think of something that you associate with that person, and you'll realize, and I'm just talking about my generation now. I'm not talking about younger people, and I have a list of those names that I know about and I'd like to share them with you as well, because each one of these names represents a story that you have, and you might like to share it. But anyway, these are the people that I know are deceased. And I didn't want to take the risk of guessing on this. It's too important to guess with somebody's names.
Oh, wait, hold on one second. We're down to 7:27. If this closes at 7:30, just click on the link again and you'll come right back again.
Oh, good.
I'll let you back in again. It doesn't have to end in 2 minutes.
Okay.
I think Zoom has extended everyone's.
I don't know, Michael, they may have, but just in case, if you lose it, it's not your computer, it ended. So just click back on again, but they might extend us, so we might be okay.
Okay.
Lonnie says she can't make it to the Zoom, but she says hello to everybody.
Thank you. Thank
Oh,
you.
please tell her I said hello and thank you so much for everything that she did. I missed the last meeting after, the last Zoom meeting, and I'm so sorry that I missed it. It was kind of a tribute to Milt, and I'm so sorry I missed it. I really would have liked to be a part of it.
If you go to the Maslow-Toffler website,
I know, I can see it.
it'll catch you.
That montage that she put together was just beautiful. I sat there and I
Beautiful.
cried like
Yeah.
a baby. It was beautiful.
Okay, let me bring you back just for
your
a
list.
reading of some names.
Mhm.
Some of you will remember Lil Thompson.
Bill?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Some of you will
Gym
remember.
teacher. Gym
Some of you
teacher,
will
yeah.
remember our front office with Conrad. Working with Conrad was Josephine. Schimpf.
Josephine.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely,
Oh.
Josephine, yes.
Yeah, bless her heart.
Yes.
And you'll remember Gene Fox.
Gene Fox.
Oh, my.
Or
Yeah.
Gene Alardi.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Right.
He came to a couple of reunions.
And then there was Carl Fogliano.
Gene, can I comment on Gene?
Can I read through the names first, Conrad?
Okay.
And then then I'd like to hear from everybody. Carl Fogliano has passed.
Oh, I didn't
Wow.
realize that.
Wow.
Custodian
Sorry,
Pat Ramada.
Yes.
Oh.
Oh.
Laura's husband, Ted Morelli.
Oh,
Right.
yes.
Our superintendent of schools, G. Guy DiPietro.
Right.
Betty Follensby, who was just a year ago, Conrad lost Betty. Anthony Felicio, president of the board. Maureen Bellinger, trustee.
Yes.
George Slabowski, trustee.
Yeah.
Michael Scanlon, trustee.
Yep.
Mike Vallone, trustee. Frank Cannon, trustee. Isabel Gutentag,
Yep.
trustee. And then the authors, Abraham Maslow, Alvin and Heidi Toffler, both gone.
Wow.
George T. Lockland, deceased. Dr. Mary Ann Raywood from Hofstra University, deceased. Dr. Jerry Edwards from Adelphi University, deceased. And last but not least, of course, our own Milton Seiler. Class of 75, Brian Gifford, Carmine Chisano, Tony Polidoro, Dion Sexton,
Oh, Dion.
Stephen Liss, Guy Godet,
Wow.
John Stumpf,
Wow.
Fred Simmons,
Fred. Wow.
I didn't know Fred.
Frank, 76, class of 76, Frank Catania,
Right.
Frankie.
Patty Gemolero Camp,
Oh, Patty.
1977, James St. Pierre.
Oh,
I don't know,
Is that the year they
nobody
started
knows.
that?
Nobody knows whatever happened with her, but Gino, I think from what we have surmised, she is no longer on this side of the lawn, and that is Heather Hegner.
Yeah. Yeah. I.
1978, Manny Bassioni, Randy Rodriguez. 79, Regina Guagliardi. In 1981 to 1982 was Jerry Dorian. Now,
Oh, yeah.
it's in your hands. If there's any association or memory that you'd like to share with, these people have all affected my life. I know they've affected yours. Some of them have. You may not have known all of them. But every single one of these people has affected my life. And there's a lot to be said. And in doing this whole Zoom thing, it put me in mind of how many people we have touched and how deeply they have touched us. And just as some of the news channels celebrate the lives of people who are being lost every day to this horrific virus, we're simply living our lives, and in so doing are watching people leave us. And I don't think that we will ever forget any of them. As a matter of fact, I know I won't forget any one of them. And I didn't want to make this a maudlin or depressing evening, but I did want to acknowledge the fact that while they are gone, not a single one of them is forgotten by any of us.
No, it's not depressing, John. It's uplifting. Their spirit and how they touched us, and the stories, and it's legacies, and they live on through us and Zoom.
And it gives you something to be thankful for. You're still here.
Does.
Thank you, Naomi. Thank you.
So Conrad, what was your story? What was your memory?
Well, Jean wasn't my secretary. She was my friend.
Yeah.
And she felt comfortable in telling me when I was doing something a bit wrong, maybe big wrong. She felt very trusting and would speak to me as a friend, and I valued that tremendously. It was what I've always wanted when dealing with people. I wanted them to come to me and be direct and give me counsel if I needed it. She was a fine, fine lady.
She was, yeah, she was. Very nice.
Wondered why I stopped getting Christmas cards from her and Frank, because every year, wherever we lived, she would find us and send Christmas cards. I have my answer. And I remember Fred Simmons. He and Brian were very instrumental, pardon the pun, for teaching me piano.
Yeah.
Little as I can remember, but there are some tunes I still remember from those men.
Wow.
Are they the ones who locked your keys in your trunk? Or
anything's possible.
Yeah.
We all played around.
There may have been other people that we've lost that I don't know about, but you might. So it doesn't have to be right now, but if there's anybody who has a name or remembers or knows of someone who has passed that we don't know about, I would love to be aware.
Mary Stump.
James Donnelly was on that list also.
And it's Sister Mary.
James Donnelly was not on the list, and I know that he passed.
Is Alan Mejia still with us?
I don't know.
Alan's in Texas.
Alan's in Texas?
Yes, Naomi.
Why do I think he's further than that?
It's pretty far.
Houston.
Hmm?
Alan is in Houston.
Ah.
We'll talk about it.
Oh, we'll talk? Okay.
We'll talk.
And New York, Texas.
Yeah, and John, do you remember, and Bob, my friend Joe Pillis, do you remember him?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, he passed on about 7 years ago, yeah.
Did he?
Yeah,
Oh,
we're the
thank
same
you.
age, so yeah, on his 50th, right after his 50th birthday, yeah.
Oh, what a shame.
Thank you, Patrick. Oh,
Yeah, he was, you know, we weren't as close, but you know, we would be, we lived in the same town, so we'd see each other now and then and again, you know.
What town was that, Pat?
Say again?
What town was that?
In Port Jefferson, yeah.
Oh, Port Jeff, right, okay.
And I remember seeing Jerry Dorian at after we shot the videos, John, that you did at Ross High School.
Yeah, Jerry in a fire department in Brentwood.
Yeah, back in 90, that was like 94, right? It's already 23 years
Right.
ago. You did these videos.
yep. Yes.
Which again, I just want to say, the website is such a great document. You know, it's a great document of what happened at Maslow-Toffler. It's just extraordinary piece of work that was done there. I'm so, you know, when I had searched it out, if there was anything on the internet 2 or 3 years ago, when I, you know, and I found that website and got in touch with Judy, you know, it's an extraordinary gift that was given, and I'm so grateful that that was done. You know,
Patrick, what I want to say at this juncture is that there were people who helped me and Milt in 1973 to plan the school, and they graduated in 74. And they never got a chance to participate in the school. But when I tell you their blood, sweat, and tears made this school possible, this was a whole group of Brentwood High School seniors who saw the value of what you have experienced with us and made it possible because they helped us go out and recruit you guys, some of you.
I remember their recruiting. I remember them coming to my school.
You trusted total strangers, and you signed on, and your parents signed on, and you made the school possible. And it occurred to me as I'm doing this and realizing how, for example, on the website that you mentioned, that Judy Freilich meticulously hosts for us. There is a person who wrote a letter to the what's it called? I don't. You wrote letters to the website, and it's on there. Some of you might know the name Glenn Beauchamp.
I know Glenn. I remember Glenn very well.
Okay, I don't remember him, but
he had long dark hair. He was actually in one of the performances that he used to play with the band. He played an instrument as well.
I see. Okay, well, he wrote something that you have to go and read it because I'm not going to read it. It is one of the most beautiful essays on our school. And I thought, you know, I never knew this person. How come I don't know him? I don't remember meeting him. But there are people who we have touched that we don't even know. That's the point I want to make. And that's true of every person on my screen and the people who knew about the meeting but couldn't make it tonight. How the ripples go on and on and on and on. And people who are looking at the way they raise their own children by some of the examples of what they saw at MT. And I feel so lucky to have been a part of this. And I would not have been a part of it had it not been for each and every member of this group right here and now. Whether you were in a supportive role or whether you were in an active role, every single person has made it possible. And all the people who have gone before us and who we will never forget for their support. So I think this is I know it's no longer Thanksgiving, but it is in a way a Thanksgiving meeting because we are headed into the holidays now. There is a lot to celebrate, And what we have to celebrate is one another, is really what I guess I want to say. And I do celebrate each and every one of you. And I'm very grateful that you've shown up. If there are any stories or are there any memories that you would like to share of your few months or 2 years, whatever they were. I know Steve was one of those people who got us to open up to 11th and 12th graders and took advantage of that himself. And
He never left. He never left us ever.
Yeah, that's true.
If I can, John, I want to say two things, and then unfortunately I have to go. First, I wanted to say that it's, what people have to, you mentioned board members. One thing about Frank Cannon is two of his 5 children went to Maslow. Susan was there in 76 and Frankie was there in 78. And Tony Felicio's son ended up coming to Maslow. And that says enough by itself after everything we did to fight and argue every year to keep it open, but yet they realized how effective we were and how successful that school could be. So I wanted to bring that up. And then I just wanted to say, and I didn't get the chance to say it last time, is I was there. I don't know who said I never left, but that's true.
Oh, no, not you, Steve. The other Steve, Gina.
Well, him too.
But we all didn't leave, so there you go.
I was fortunate to walk through those doors in 1975. Lenny Marsh brought me there because he was trying to recruit me. And again, there was only for seniors. And I fought and went to every school board meeting and yelled in the microphone. And I thought when you mentioned Frankie was one of my recruits. That was one of the 7 that we got to go there as juniors. And I was thinking about him when you said it. And I always think about, there's a picture of me. Actually, I had to defend to my parents because there's a picture from The American Dream. And I'm standing there talking to Kenny, Moss, and Frankie. And I have a cigarette in my hand. So, of course, I had to defend that after it came out in the yearbook.
Oh my gosh.
But I wanted to say, and John and I have talked about this a lot, where I would be if I didn't get that opportunity. And I talk about this every day on my job because I deal with parents who are bringing their kids who need help, educational support. And I always tell the story how I walked through that door for the first time. And it was like Dorothy going over the rainbow for me. And I knew I belonged there and I had to go there. And that's why I fought so hard at 15 years old to get us in. And I wanted to say last time that the people that were on, Ona and Kenny Reed and Joyce, and of course, Joanna and John and Milt and Ken and Laura and Conrad and Vita, without these people, my life would have gone in a very different direction. So I can't ever thank these people enough. And that's why it was so important for me to be there when we had the reunion. And then John and I and Heather were able to talk about this happening. And we didn't know if it would or didn't, but it's amazing to see people, as John Bloom said earlier, 40 years. And it's amazing to do that. And the last thing I want to say before I go is, John, you know this, and I don't know if anybody else does, and I think Camille does, but 2 years ago, I was diagnosed with cancer for the second time, and it was not good, and it was bad. And just 2 weeks ago, I was at my doctor, and I'm still in remission. So I'm thankful to be here. But more importantly, I'm thankful for all of you because my life would never have been what it is today without it. And I can't ever thank enough. So God bless. Have a great holiday. Happy New Year. But I got to run. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Great holidays,
Steve.
Steve.
Bye-bye.
I still have your message on my phone. He called me and answered one of my messages, and I save. I'm like crazy with saving things. I saved his message on my phone, and I recorded it on my answering machine. I recorded it onto my phone so I can have it. But it's so crazy because when Stephen and Janito and I, when we got together, I remember. It's funny, Terry Willis brought up a memory for me. She's been posting from the regular Sonderling yearbook, the 1976 pictures of us. And I was looking at those pictures, and I remember going to the reunion pictures that they actually took when we went to the 10-year reunion for the Sonderling reunion. And I went to Sonderling, but there were many when I went into Maslow in 76, I would say probably more than half of the population of Maslow in my class, of the 120 people that went there, more than half had gone to Ross. That was their building that they would have gone to had they not gone to Maslow. So when Sonderling had their 10-year reunion, I went to the 10-year reunion, and I just remember thinking, this is not going to work, because I don't see a lot of my Maslow family that I wanted to see at this 10-year reunion. And I said, well, next year when Ross has their reunion, I'm going to crash this reunion.
Right.
I'm going to that reunion because I need to see these people. And that's when I contacted Stephen, and we started talking about having our own, and John, Stephen, John, and I, we got together, and I said, we need to have a reunion for just Maslow. And even to this day, when I tell people that we have an annual reunion, and I am just so, I'm overwhelmed with the feelings that I get when I think about the connections, like you were speaking about, John, that 40 years later, even with a pandemic going on, we are finding some way to be together again every single year. You know, it's just, you don't find that in any aspect of most people's lives. You just don't find that. I have friends of mine that I know, like George Wattsmith. I talk to him on Facebook all the time, you know, and it's just amazing to me that I have all of these friends that I don't, and I'm not really a big technology person, but I do love the fact that on Facebook I can connect with people that live out of state that I never get to see, you know, but I can connect with them on a daily basis, seeing them and sharing in their lives and what they're doing with their life. And I'm just so grateful for Maslow. It had changed, like Steve said, the direction of his life. I don't think my life would have been bad because I had a very stable family, and Maslow that's a whole nother part of Maslow. There were so many people that didn't have stable, good families, and that Maslow became their families and changed the course of their life. But it changed the course of my personality, you know, having the acceptance and the way I grew in insights into myself and just into life as we know it and interactions with other people. Back then, they didn't talk about those things. They didn't acknowledge them. People didn't know about them unless you were in the psychology field. You basically didn't do that, you know. There was so much psychology and love and acceptance for a person's to foster their strengths and even foster their weaknesses, because your weaknesses can find strengths. You know, you can find strengths in your weaknesses, and that just wasn't done 40 years ago. They just didn't do that. And I'm so
They're not doing it now, sadly. They're still not doing it.
Right, you're right. It's just amazing to me. And you know, just memories of the school. There's so many memories, and I'm not really very verbal and able to articulate the way other people do.
You're doing great.
I think you're doing a fabulous job.
Yeah. I'm just really not able to do it.
That's why your name there, it says the boss.
Yeah.
I'm not the boss. I really am not. You know, I was always a follower. And
Camille, in 1980, there was a student whose name was Dawn Brody. I remember her because I recruited her. I went to her home, and her mother signed the approval for her to come to the school. That was the year that John Lennon was assassinated right in front of his house. Across the street from where Milt used to live, by the way.
Right.
And Dawn was a real fan. And she took it as if it were a member of her own family.
She was wearing a leather jacket that day.
What?
She was wearing a leather jacket that day.
Wow.
And so you have your own memories of that. My memory is mostly of that, but also then the news that Dawn had been hit by a car on Washington Avenue. After a big snowstorm. She was walking home with a group, and it was a hit and run. and she was put into Southside Hospital, and she remembered nothing of who she was, where she had been, what had happened to her. And her mother, for some reason, never wanted her, even though she signed the approval.
Right.
She was seeing changes in Dawn, in her personality, that she didn't approve of. And all I can tell you was that the mother took complete control, and were not allowed to visit her in the hospital. And I don't ever know what happened to Dawn Brody after that, but we never saw her again.
It's a lot of
She was
fear-based.
never permitted to come
Yeah.
back to the school, and I don't think she regained her memory, so she was in effect made over
I know.
because she had different things happen to her. But another one of the, when I say a name, and you think of all these associations that you can call to mind. Sorry for interrupting.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm going to have to excuse myself because I have someone else to be, but it was so wonderful to see everybody. John, thank you for the invitation.
Thank you, Ellen, for being here. Thank
And
you.
Ellen,
Join us again.
Ellen,
You know, if we have
yes, Gino.
I'll see
What?
you tomorrow.
You'll see me tomorrow?
I'll stop by.
Do you remember where I live?
No.
I'll text you the address again.
I know where you live.
All right.
All right. What time?
About 2 or 3 in the afternoon.
Okay, that's perfect. Thank you, Gino.
All right, doll.
Good night,
Good
everybody.
to see you again, Ellen.
Same here, Johanna. Take care.
Happy holiday. Great to see you.
Thanks, everybody.
Joy. I wanted to add one other thing. Aside from everything that I learned in the wonderful classes that we all shared and how I grew from the experiences in those classes, I have such fond memories of the staff room, okay? Not the faculty room, the staff room where I played backgammon for hours in that staff room. I was there at that school well after school ended. I used to take the late bus with Tori. I used to bring her home with me. She was a toddler. But I saw pictures just recently, because I came home and I showed my brothers how to play backgammon. And my brother and I, to this day, we play backgammon all the time. And that was something, I took from Maslow. And I saw those pictures of us all sitting there and the student lounge, with the pictures that Butchie and Kathy, all the wonderful, so many gifted people went to that school. So many gifted people. Oh my God, the murals on the walls. And it was just an amazing experience. I almost feel sad for people who didn't have it. Sometimes
yeah.
as grateful as I am for having the experience, I feel sad for people who didn't, because I know how much their lives could have been changed by it. And there were so many people that needed that experience. They really did.
I was the backgammon queen, and they have a picture in the yearbook of me on the floor playing my backgammon.
Joanne, you know what? Like I said, the bonds that were built in that school, you don't find those bonds in other places. It's like having friends that you have lifelong friends from school. Who has that after 40 years?
Yeah,
you don't. I love you, sweetie. I'm so glad you're at this meeting.
Me too. I'm glad to be here.
I really am. I'm so happy for you that you're here.
Thank you.
But I talked enough. I want to hear what everybody else has to say. And I just want to let everybody know that I love you guys so much. I really do. I'm getting all mushy, but I you know what? Here's the thing, and I'm just going to end on this note. I try talking about this school to other people, and they don't get it. They will never get it because you had to experience it to understand it. So, my husband, he understands it because we've been married 37 years, and he's been hearing it for 37 years, so he has no choice. But the thing is, you get on with these people that share this experience with you, and they get it. I don't have to explain it to you guys. And so when I get mushy and I say these things, I know you know what I mean. And
Yeah, other people say, "Oh, you're gonna go MT on me."
Yeah, it's so true. I know.
It's such a Maslownian. It's just, it's like it's taken on its own
it has its
way of
own
being.
entity.
Yeah.
It really is its own entity.
Yeah.
And I love that I don't have to explain it to you guys. I love that I can say something and I know that you know exactly what I'm feeling and exactly what I'm talking
Camille,
about.
the first person who ever said that to me, who told me what you just said, was Alice Walsh, who of course was the mother of Brian and Chris. And
Darren.
what she said was, I asked her at the retrospective when we were doing the videos, I asked her if she ever talked to the school when she was with other people to try and told them what it was like when they asked. And she said she gave up trying to explain it. And at that point, I realized for the first time why. And you brought it up again, Camille. The reason being is that at least half of the school had to do with the left hemisphere of all our brains, because, I mean, the right hemisphere of all our brains, because the left hemisphere dealt with attending classes and being lectured to and being given material to read and processing it. But the other side of the brain was primarily addressing the experience that you were having and internalizing that and putting both sides together. And if you tried to explain it to somebody without giving them the experience, that's why we always used to say, come to the school. You won't have to ask the question anymore. You'll understand. Come and visit. But people were intimidated and didn't come.
They were, a lot of it was fear-based. There was a lot of fear-based. And I got to tell you, and I love you guys, so I can share this.
Yes.
I've been going to Al-Anon for many, many years.
Yes.
And I find it very similar to that because you're not going to get it until you go. Because there are similar things that you share in these groups that if you're not a participant, you won't ever get it because you have to have the experience. That's the way it has to be.
Right.
So,
but when Alice came to those retrospectives and she said, oh, it feels so good not to have to explain anything because you all understand. You've all been there.
It's true.
So that's
Johanna, do you have a cat?
He's sitting on my lap, but he's not high enough to be on the computer. Here he is. This is twin brother upstairs. Hello, say hello.
I know, I was petting mine before.
Yeah, he's got a twin brother upstairs. John, I'm going to have to go because we have a family Zoom in a couple of minutes.
Thank you, Johanna. Thank you.
Thank everyone. Camille, take care. Good to see everyone.
I want you to share something before you leave. Can you please share something?
Oh, I shared all the other times. I'm all shared out.
I wasn't there the other time. I miss you.
I'm so happy to see you. I'm very proud of what you've done. I'm so proud of seeing you and Kenny Reed last time and everybody who's been through the whole process, including any of the people that were staff with me. Everybody grew, and here we are. For me, it's 44 years later. So that's pretty creepy, but everybody has gone and developed, and I value all of you for the way you all added to my life. And here we are 44 years later. Thank you a million. And Conrad, be well, and let's be in touch because I just want to make sure that everything is always okay with you in your lockdown state for now.
We'll come out of it. And but the difficulty with being in lockdown is the inability to sit down and talk with people.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
It's really a void in my life. I lost Betty two years ago. It was unfortunate that Thanksgiving was that anniversary. She died on the 26th of November in 18. And boy, do I miss that gal.
But we'll be in touch with you, though. You be well, and I'll make sure that I touch base with you until maybe a time can come when we'll all be allowed to come and visit you. Wouldn't that creep everybody out? We'll all come in, and you'll have to get a room for us to hang out in, and they'll go crazy to see us all.
We can hold a whole big forum.
That's right. We'll all go.
We'll hold a forum at Conrad.
I want to let
you, Johanna.
Take care, everyone. Great to see you.
Holiday.
Happy holidays.
Thank you.
Love you.
Thank you, hon. Love you.
John, thank you for sharing that list of names, because there were names there that I hadn't thought about since I was a teenager. And it was also a little sad to think that, so much of their life had happened and I didn't know about it. But it did bring back memories. And, so there is that part of it, and that's kind of sad. But it did strike me, we were talking, it's true, we do have this thing in common at different times. But there are also ripples going forward. And, when I think about my own kids, and I've got a 12-year-old and a 16-year-old, I don't have grandchildren yet. I'm telling them things that I heard from you and Conrad and Ken and that, other students. So it's continuing on in different ways, and it's spreading out. I mean, just looking around here, we're in different corners of the country. I am incredibly grateful. And Conrad, I just want you to know that the first person, and probably one of the first time any educator ever put his hand on my shoulder, was when I walked into Maslow-Toffler for the first time, and you were there, you greeted me, and you put your hand on my shoulder. It made me feel a little uncomfortable at the time, not by the time I left the school. But it was, here I'm remembering it, and it's, it was a kind and caring and mentoring, direction. And boy, that's absolutely invaluable. So I'm just, I'm looking at you, Conrad, I'm just delighted, so happy about all of this. And, oddly enough, this would not have happened if there had not been these lockdowns around the country, because, I live on the other side of the country from almost all of you. And,
yeah,
I am, I'm doing this now. And guess what? I'll be back for the next one if you do it in the spring, and I'll be back for the next one in the summer. I'm not going to miss it for the world. So, thank you all. Now, my teenager, my 12-year-old son is telling me that I've got to go sit with him.
Where are you?
And since sorry?
Where are you in the country?
Oh, I'm outside of San Francisco. I live in the San Francisco Bay Area.
When did you go to Maslow?
79, class of 79.
Okay.
And I can tell you, my good friend Lisa Leffler, she's a nearby neighbor. She's well, and she's married to her wife, and they have a lovely adopted daughter. So one of my classmates, is also, I think she's joined these as well. But so thank you all, and Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Merry Christmas,
Happy
John.
holidays.
Thank you, John.
John,
Thank you.
so glad to
Nice
see
meeting
you.
you.
Next year
John.
will be better.
John, it's
Yes, Conrad.
Conrad here.
Yeah.
The touch. One of the problems we find in school is that we are reluctant to touch. And God, is that so much an important part of our existence?
Mm-hmm.
We need to be able to touch. And if you said you felt uncomfortable, I hope that discomfort in time went away. So, because if you were here now, I would touch your shoulder again.
And that would be wonderful, Conrad. No, what I wanted to say was that was me as but it was a meaningful and lifelong contact. And I'm it's not forgotten. It's not forgotten.
It's
And very significant. So thank you.
completely life-changing.
That's beautiful. That is beautiful. The huggers of this world, which is me. Oh my goodness. Bye-bye. This COVID
See you.
thing is
Take care, everybody.
Thank you, John.
Merry Christmas.
Bye, John. Yeah.
Next time.
I miss the hug.
Next time.
I'm a hugger and a kisser, and it's just really hard. Really
Can I
hard.
tell you a piece of news? I thought Kelly and Kevin Durkin were going to be here again tonight. They are out in Texas. And I spoke to Kevin during the week, and I caught him in the middle of a shoot because they are being filmed as part of a new television program that they are being featured in, and it will begin sometime, I think he said, in January, and they were doing some of the last shoots this week.
That's fun.
And he was very, very busy with it. So I thought that they were going to be able to find room for a visit with us tonight, but apparently not. So I share that with you, and when I have more information, I'll make it available to all of you on our Maslow-Toffler or on Facebook, as it were. Get the word out so people can catch these segments as they become available to us. Is there?
I want to share.
I
I
want
want
to hear.
share. Could
Go ahead, Naomi.
Can I share? It's like high school. Anyway. No, it's that really touched me when we were talking about having a difficult time. You know, I know John knows that I've shared with him about the very difficult time I had growing up. And when I found Maslow, or Maslow found me, it was home. It became home. And it still is home. And here are my children coming up. Anyway, so you're going to embarrass me. Go away. I'm having deep feelings with NC people here. Anyway, so I mean, it was home so much in Conrad. I remember having a meeting with you and John when they couldn't find my English credit, and I thought that would be it for me, and I can't graduate. And we pulled our heads together, and I created that class, Death and Dying, and it was worked into my English credit, and it was just the people fighting for me and caring enough to pay attention to the lack, because I was in foster care and everywhere else. And so I spent many nights in Maslow, actually, when I had nowhere else to sleep, just so you know, in case nobody knew. But it was safe. And it saved my life. It absolutely saved my life, and saved me many, many times, because it gave me a strength and an inner knowing about that kind of love. And it's just created who I am today. And I'm incredibly grateful. And Milt, oh my God, you know, I'm a massage therapist. That class that he taught, teaching about touch and the dynamics of touch, and making it fun and not fearful. What? Where? What? Did you say something, Steve?
No.
Are you just eating? Yeah. But yes, I mean, it's so many different people that have touched my life. Randy Rodriguez, my dance partner, Kenny Moss, you know, got me up on stage, you know, and had me face fears that have helped me throughout my entire life with just patience and love and caring. It's a gift. It's beautiful, and I hope that it could keep spreading out. It's still my intention with Adam's Hope House to keep it spreading out. We're just on hold with COVID, but it's still there. And that's my hope, that we can make this common in schools for love and touch and patience and kindness, connection. So thank you.
Thank you, Naomi. Thank you.
I'd love to hear what's going on with Bob Primavera, because it's been many years since we spent time in his apartment in the city.
Oh, that's right. That's
Yeah,
right.
Florida.
Well, you know, I just was, after I left Maslow, I went into the city and I taught there, and then I found my passion. Someone had said you'd be a good ESL teacher, And I tried that, and I just fell in love with that.
That's what I do.
Oh my God, they're my children. I always call them my children. And I ran the program in Farmingdale at the end of my career, and I just loved it. I just loved every minute of it. So, ended on a happy note. And now I'm in South Beach. How can you go wrong? But Maslow was really important for me. I guess I was very closed, and I think Maslow gave me an opportunity to explore who I was and to try different things. And I used a lot of the techniques I did with my ESL kids. We did a lot of processing. We did a lot of, things like that. And it's sort of like it was natural, and I just loved it. And I really enjoyed, everybody. Conrad, you were just amazing. You were just very friendly. And Josephine and Jean, they were just important people. I came into the building, they took care of me. And I just loved everybody there. It just was fun. Michael, we started together, remember that? We were both new, and it was just wonderful. And John, you were always there, saying, you're great, Bob, you're great. And I said, I didn't think so, but he thought so. So I said, okay, I'll go with that.
I thought so too.
Yeah.
I did too.
Yeah. But it was really a pleasure to be, part of that. And, you mentioned Denise Brody. I remember we did a tribute concert for her in that annex, and we raised money for her and her family. And I didn't realize she never came back. I'm disappointed to hear that. But I thought her mother made a connection with us again. I don't know, I'm just surprised about that. But it's good to see everybody and to see everyone doing well. And I can't believe, Tori, you're a woman now. That's so amazing.
She's a teacher.
Yeah. Wow. I love it.
Wow.
I know, I look at her face and I feel the same way.
Yes, that little girl.
Well, I was looking around here. I've spent time in so many of your beds.
You did.
I think my favorite though was at Conrad and Betty's, because their bed was up so high. The sense that the house was antique-y, and it had bedposts and the mattress, and it was just, or maybe I was just really small, but it just seemed like it was like the Princess of the Pea to get into the bed that I would spend the night there. So I'm really sad about Betty, but she was just a light in the world, and you know that, and dearly.
Well, Michael, what have you got to say?
I'm in a quiet mood. I was listening to what Bob was saying and remembering the very first days of starting. Bob, I also felt a little overwhelmed and maybe intimidated by the skills of the staff that surrounded us. But it was just a tremendous experience and life-changing in ways that are really hard to put a finger on. They're hard to articulate. But it was part of that whole approach to humanistic psychology, all the trust exercises, things. It's funny, I've been involved in my life in a lot of technology, and my background's engineering. But what I learned at Maslow, as well as what I learned in graduate school, taking a master's in counseling, have been as important to me as the engineering background. So life is good. My main home is in Portland, Oregon. We now have a vacation place here in the desert, and if you look in the room, it's pretty empty because we just got down here about 10 days ago, and we're decorating it. So I love seeing everyone. It's just like a time machine being here. I sit down, there's Conrad. My goodness, Conrad, it feels like yesterday that we sat together, but it's not. And Bob, I look at your face.
I know.
And I also see the very, very young Bob Primavera, but I see you both together in an interesting way, blending. It's just an amazing experience being here with all of you, students and staff, and it's like how everything gets melded together, and we're all part of the same experience, shared in a little different ways. And I'm very thankful, and I talk about it. When I talk about peaks in my life, the conversation usually begins with something like, you know, I used to teach a school called the Maslow-Toffler School of Futuristic Education. That begins a conversation no matter where I am. That's all you've got to say.
Yeah.
And those people who have any inclination toward futurism or psychology, they pick up right on it. Everyone else thinks you're talking science fiction.
Mhm.
Hmm.
It's been an amazing ride. And this is our time machine.
Mhm.
We
like
are
that.
in
I like that
John's
analogy.
debt for holding all of this so closely to his heart. And he has a marvelous memory. Be able to put so much of this together and find that we suddenly recognize bits and pieces that were so instrumental in framing our lives. What
You
a
know,
joy.
there's one thing I just remembered. It's a little teeny thing. And that is when, John, I think you gave out literally physical warm fuzzies, and we talked a lot about warm fuzzies and cold pricklies. And that's been kind of, you know, the little fuzzy things I remember that stick on. And the thing is, a lot of the way I frame life is around warm fuzzies. I always ask in little interactions, whether it's the grocer, the gas station attendant, whoever it is, did I leave warm fuzzies behind? I hope I didn't leave cold pricklies. And it works. It's a metaphor that stuck with me.
That's a good one.
Very good.
Remember that?
So many things.
It's like little seedlings have dropped, and then we give it to our children and our grandchildren, and to, you know, just blowing in the wind to people that have no idea what we're talking about, but they grab it for that one moment, and then they share it.
And it changes the world.
Yeah.
You know what always comes to mind? I remember there was an exercise that somebody said something about when you're in an elevator. And I always remember this every time I'm in an elevator. So it's like I want to scream Maslow-Toffler when I'm in there. But when you're in an elevator, that uncomfortable silence when you're in an elevator with people that you don't know. And I don't even remember what class it was in. I think it was a class that I was in with Milt, that they said, if you say hello to that person and just talk to them, that the silence, I mean, depending on, you know, the personality of the person that you're there with, some of them will look at you like a freak, you know, why you're talking to me, you don't know me. But most of the people, because now when I get in an elevator, you know, you smile at them, you say hello, you do that. And before you know it, you're where you're going to be, and there's no awkward silence. There's nothing. You know, so for that 60 seconds that you're riding in that elevator, you know, you don't have to have any kind of awkwardness. All it takes is a smile or a hello or how you doing today or, you know, nice day out, that kind of thing. And you don't have to have that awkwardness. And that's like in life so many ways that's exactly all you have to do in life.
You know, it's so funny that you say that, because when I was living in the city, I was in an elevator, I can't tell you how many times a day.
Right.
And I always say hello, or I'll go, can you believe this rain, or something.
Right,
I will not stand there quiet because
right. I hate those awkward silences.
I'm too talkative to be quiet for the length of an elevator ride. So I have to.
Or you could simply say, so new?
Right, exactly. My husband looks at me and he's like, can't you just take the elevator ride? But now we're married a long time, and I'm like, no, I can't. I can't be quiet. You know the way I talk. There's no way that I could sit in an elevator, especially, oh my God, I'll never forget. I mean, I was young, but like the Washington Monument, you're in the elevator for 5 minutes going up in the Washington Monument. I'm like, that would be torture. How could you not talk in an elevator? You know, some of these buildings are tall. But I just always remember that. And I use it in so many other places. Like my daughter goes out with us and she's like, you talk to everybody. Don't you understand? You're not supposed to talk to everybody. You know,
Oh, interruptions come first.
Right.
I remember that.
Keep talking.
That's right.
I love that.
I love it. That's me. That's part of me, you know, and you guys put that there because I was not a leader and I wasn't somebody, not that I ever had a problem talking because I really never did, but it just like it made it so much better, you know. It really did, because you felt good about it, you know. You didn't feel bad about it, because for the most part, people want to talk. They want a friendly smile or a hello, and you could change that person's life forever with that one little smile and that one little hello. You don't even realize it, like you said, John, the ripples that go everywhere.
You know, when we were talking before about exactly that, Camille, it occurred to me that I invited someone to come and join us tonight who had never been as either a staff member or a student at the school, but Hank Salerno was the instructional media director for the district. And Hank brought the children's theater to Bob's attention when Bob was there. And I wanted Bob to hear Hank say it himself, because to hear him tell it is different from having me tell you. But he said, Bob Primavera was a genius. The way he took that program that Hofstra University presented to Hank, and Hank brought it to Bob because he felt MT would be the place that could do the best job with it. But it wasn't just MT, it was Mr. Primavera who took this program and gave it wings, because one of the students was Greg DeCanio, another person who was invited to attend tonight and obviously couldn't make it. He is just retired from his career as the head of security for MacArthur Airport in Islip, where he worked for 30 years. And he had COVID, and his wife had COVID, and he developed all kinds of what do you call it? Blood clots. Thank you. I couldn't think of the expression. And that's a symptom of this COVID. I can't think of words. I can't think of my vocabulary is disappearing because I'm not talking to anybody.
Use it or lose it.
That's right. You use it or you lose it. So I've been losing it. And anyway, Greg DeCanio, who was a student in, I think, 82. I think that's when he was with us, maybe 81 or 82. He had nothing but praise for Bob. And he told me recently he had been in a mall with his wife, having recovered from all his illnesses. And he said somebody came over to him and identified themselves as one of the kids that had been in a class where they had come in and read a story. He recognized Greg, and it was a very bad, terrible day or something. Was that what was the name of the book, Bob?
Alexander, the Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Very Bad Day.
Bob remembers.
So this youngster is now growing up, but he still remembers Greg's face, and he came over and he wanted his autograph. So just wonderful memories were created. Wonderful memories that were created that people have taken with them for the rest of their lives.
Michael Ross, I want to hear something from you. You've been here, you've been so quiet.
I do that. I'd actually like to say a couple of things. One thing is kind of like that whole idea that we talked about, where how do you explain Maslow-Toffler? When I was doing my internship with Dr. Agora, he was also a Zen monk at one point in his life, and so he was really interesting to hang with, you know. And he said to me one day, he goes, Mike, it's banana principle. And I'm like, well, what's banana principle? He goes, imagine for a minute that I'm someone that has never had a banana, and I go, this banana thing, what is it? Explain it to me. So I said, well, you know, it's like a yellow fruit, and it's kind of like long and tubey, and it looks like a smile if you put it in front of your face, and you have to peel it to eat it, and it's yellow, and it's got a nice smell to it, and it's from the tropics. And he goes, oh, great. What does it taste like? That's Maslow-Toffler. You have to experience it. You have to feel it, which kind of leads me on to the next kind of thing I wanted to talk about. You know, Tony Polidoro, you mentioned him, he passed, and he was a lifelong friend of mine. And I remember Tony was in a real dire point in his life where some things were coming down. And he says to me, I don't know what to do. You're going to have to tell me what to do. I just don't know what to do. And I said, dude, just relax. We'll either find a way or we'll make one. And he's like, you're just always like that. How can you be like that? And the thing is, and this kind of goes to what you were just saying a second ago too. I'm going to bounce here for a moment. I was in a boardroom and there were all these like major people. I believe the one guy that actually said this was, he might've been the CEO of Panasonic. And I was just being quiet and absorbing everything. And at one point he stopped and he's like, I have to hear something from you because you were the loudest, quiet guy in the room. People from Maslow-Toffler have what I believe, for a lack of a better word, is kind of like from The Shining. They just have the shine. There's a glow, there's an inner thing. Now, at the end of Tony's life, he was starting to lose some of his mental faculties and his short-term memory. And I kind of reminded me of that young lady that you talked about that was struck by the car. She probably didn't, if she didn't remember any of our names ever again, there was still the shine in her that you can't take out. Maslow-Toffler it's cellular. A while back, I had said that I went down and they had taken the building down to bricks. And my kids said, well, they finally ended. And I said, no, Maslow-Toffler was never about bricks. It was about more than that. And even the people that passed, there's just something, there's a thread that we just, once we touched each other, it just followed and spread throughout all of us and everyone that we touched. And I think back of all the things that Tony did in his life. The country that we live in right now, you guys have no idea how much impact he had on keeping it the way it is right now. And that was part of that shine, there's something in us that's beyond just our names and our faculties and who we remember. If we forgot everyone tomorrow, there would still be something in us. I went to the Vatican and I thought it'd be cool to go and see the Pope. So I went to a mass with the Pope and then he came out and he came within the thing. And as he was walking by, he grabbed me and took a selfie with me. He's like, whatever he said in Italian, they came over and they took a picture of us. And then they got in touch with me and said, oh, here's a picture. It's like, I didn't get a picture with him. The Pope pulled me aside. I think it's
That's amazing.
It's just that Maslow-Toffler shine that even if you're silent, people feel it in the room.
Yeah.
If you're on I can't tell you how many people just come to me and I'm not saying anything. They never even met me, but they will spill their deepest secrets to me just because they feel like I needed to say this to you. I don't know why I'm saying this, they often say, but I have to tell this to you. And so I think there's just something about us. There's some way of communicating that we've all just been able to do just by nature. And I think we caught that from guys like Conrad and John and Milt and all the other people that had this core idea. And, it's beyond just, the philosophy or the psychology of it or the training or any of that. It's just that resonance, that gong that rang and then started to vibrate in all of us and still rings on.
Very true.
Thank you for saying
That's very, very true. I talk to more people than my husband's like, you're always involved in the drama. But you know what? It's not of my own making. It's just that people talk to me. They like what I have to say, I totally get it. Everything you said, I feel everything that you said. That was really good.
Yeah, I find that I can be quiet in an elevator and total strangers will just talk to me.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Camille and I will be talking to you.
Yes, we will. Always, Heather, right?
This most recent Zoom and the preparation for it has made me think of a lot of things in the process of trying to make contact with people. And not least among them is the fact that there are so many people that came to MT that I never got to meet. I never got to know because they used the school for whatever purpose they had in mind, did not immerse themselves into the process, and did not get involved, so they were not known, but they were there. They took what they needed,
And they left the rest.
and they left the rest.
Yeah,
And what could be wrong with that?
nothing.
But I never got to hear their stories. I never got to meet them. I never got to know how I may have touched their lives. And I'm selfish enough that I would like to know that. And now I would like to know why there are people like George Waxman and Matt Nannery who don't come and don't participate
He
now.
doesn't do the technical thing, John. It has
Okay.
nothing to do with not wanting to be here. but
I'm not
more-
saying this as a criticism.
No, I know what you're saying, and I
understand.
understand. You want to share with them. You want to hear what they have to say.
I would
But
love to listen to them. I would love to.
I think the technical part of it is something, like George has, I talk to him a lot. I don't really talk to him, but I talk to him on Facebook, and he's always putting quotes on there. And you can learn a lot about a person about what they post,
course.
He's a pretty positive person.
Of
But
course.
the thing is that, and I've spoken to him about it, I got him to go to one of the reunions because I was like pushing him. I was like, I'll pick you up. I went and I picked him up, actually. I picked him up where he was because he doesn't drive. He rides his bicycle everywhere. He does like 40, 50 miles on his bicycle. He doesn't have a car, but he does like tens of miles, you know what I'm saying? But he doesn't have the technology to do this. He doesn't have a laptop. He doesn't have any. Let me tell you, if I hadn't spent time with Heather and my brother coming over, I wouldn't have been able to do this without help. And there are some people who really don't have anybody to help them, or they don't feel the need. They don't feel the need to have to bring the technology into their life because it's a source of stress. Okay. And they have simplified their lives. So it's not that he doesn't want to share or he doesn't want to see us. He does. But that part of his life is something that's not in his life because it's simplified. It's simplified. And I feel bad for it because I truly think that he would love this. I do. I think he would love it. But I also think that people reach different stages in their life where they don't necessarily need it. I need it. You know what I'm saying? I need that reassurance.
Camille, when Michael was talking before about having fun, wanting to hang out with somebody who was a former monk or was a monk, an interesting guy to hang out with. I don't know whether he did join a monastery, but I had heard people talking that maybe he was in the.
George was. He was very involved in that. He
I'm talking
went
about
through a lot of
Matt Nannery.
Yes, Matt Nannery too.
Matt Nannery was. And he's was and is, I'm sure, still a very spiritual person.
Yep.
I would love for him to have.
I know there's a lot of people I would love to talk to.
But you can't push. And I don't mean to sound like I'm pushing and I want and I want and I want. No, not at all.
But that's what you do. That's the person you are. That's why we love you so much. Don't you get it? You know, that's really what you do. I love that you do that.
There's nothing wrong with the yearning for connection.
Right, exactly.
Thank you.
I mean, George Waxman is the head of a halfway house.
Yeah.
And he's gone through enough trials in his life that he's teaching from experience. And, he touches a lot of people's lives,
yes,
a lot of people. But like I said, he leads a simple life. He doesn't, do those things.
Milt used to say he thought he was one of the brightest people he ever met.
He's a wonderful man, but we all have our issues, but, and this is where I think that it's just so wonderful with the way we do things. With this whole political thing, there are so many people that have lost friends over a difference of opinion, of political views and everything like that. But really what it comes down to, and George and I have discussed this, he said, you know what, basically that person has a good heart. So, if they have a good heart, you may not like what they say. And of course, if you have a good heart, you're not going to want to bring it up. You just don't talk about those things. If you keep it separate from your friendship, because you can't say things, just because you want to say them. You have to be considerate of other people as well, and just be accepting. That's something that we all learn as you grow to be an adult. But I think it's just so wonderful that we do these Zoom meetings, and I really do cherish this time. I mean, my husband, he stuck his head in the door about 4 times already because I've been so busy today. We haven't really been doing anything, and I was like, I have to go to the Zoom meeting, and we've been on for an hour and a half. But I love it. I'll do it every time if I can.
I can't thank you all enough for showing up and for being a part of it tonight. And of course, as in the past, we have recorded this and we will make it available on a, we'll make it available first on a private setting, and then eventually it'll be put on the Maslow-Toffler
Are you
site.
sleeping, Stephen?
But
Can we get that down?
Don, I think before we close out,
yeah,
there are still a couple of people that haven't had a chance to say anything.
Right.
And I would love to hear from Joanne and from Patrick.
Hi, Vita. Thank you for saying that.
Joanne, before you talk, I'm so sorry. I'm just going to say goodnight because I have a little bit of a drive. So I'm going to leave now because I have a tendency to do this while I'm driving. So I'm going to
not do that.
Oh, me too.
Bye, Heather.
now because I'm
Bye, Heather.
Hi, Heather. Thank you.
Have a great holiday.
Happy holiday, everybody.
Happy holiday.
All right.
So yeah, I'm glad I made the Zoom. This is the first one that I've made of the Zoom meetings. I made a lot of the regular ones, but it's been quite a journey for me. And you guys, Tori and Vita, you were very important. I still talk about my Syracuse University 3 credits that I got in psychology that I wouldn't have been able to pass without you. Bob, he was amazing. I think it was my first year was his first year too. Was it like 78 or something? 70,
Yes.
something like that. And I remember going back even the year after and doing a play with you guys and the next class that came in, and getting out of those fears, like just those plays, doing those different characters kind of, helped me to get rid of a lot of my fears, but sometimes we forget and sometimes life gets in the way and those fears creep back up. But, you have the base of the education that I had that helps me to regroup and really get it back together. Life's a little difficult right now. I've got health issues that I'm so done with. I just want it to be over with. And, I get frustrated. I get tired. It's been a long fight. It's been many, many years, and the medicine makes me crazy. And, I just keep trying. Today was a hard day. I don't mean to cry, but I needed this, this was a godsend today because today was a hard day for me. And, I know that I'm stronger than I think I am sometimes. And, it was the strength that I got from being loved and being, in a school where I could be me and it was okay, and sometimes here in life, just family things, learned behaviors from growing up. You think you kind of let them go, but they have a way of creeping back in when you didn't really learn the lesson. So, my time at Maslow has given me that connection to self that helps me to come back to, to life. So that's about all I want to share right now because it's like a little crazy for me in my head. But thank you, everybody.
thank you, Joanne.
Oh, good for sharing, Joanne. We love you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And my little message from Tori in my yearbook. I shared it on the website. It was very lovely to go back.
Terrible handwriting. I don't even know how you wrote that.
I don't either. How old were you?
I don't know.
3, 4, if even that, not even 5. You were real young.
Look, this is what I do though. So we use this thing, it's dumb, but it's like a two-way messaging system with parents, and you can send messages to parents. It actually is useful when they don't speak English because it can translate. So, but you can also send messages to kids, like sometimes they'll read it. It just depends on their age and their literacy skills. But I'm trying to teach writing and oral language. And so I shared that with with my families and said, you know, like we all start out somewhere.
Right.
If you can't read your own writing, it's okay. Somebody can.
I love it. That was
love
great. So, yeah.
Wonderful.
Now it's your turn.
Well, I'm going to drift. I'm pleased to have been here. I keep thinking, as I did before, I'm not a singer, but I did think of the words, let this circle be unbroken. That to me tells it all. Without telling it all, it was sort of our song. And Steve was one to bring it to our attention. Good night, folks. It's been, thank you, John.
Good night, Conrad. Thank
Oh,
you.
good night, Conrad.
Night,
So good to see
Conrad.
you. We love you.
I need, I must tell you that I need that now. And a hug, if one can feel it between.
I'm sending you a virtual hug.
Oh, that's it. I love it. I love it.
I am hugging you. I am.
Good night, all.
Good night.
Conrad. Hang in there. It'll get better.
Good night.
Oh.
I guess this is probably a good point for us to all say good night to
I know.
one another.
Night. Thank
Yeah.
you.
I know. I never want to leave. You know how
Until-
it
next time.
is. But I have to. I got to do other things. I love you
Okay.
guys.
Okay.
You are my
Love you
family. You're
guys.
my
Good
Maslow
night.
family.
Better.
Bill.
Great
Good
seeing
night,
you.
Naomi.
Peter, good night.
Conrad, good night, Robert.
Night.
Good night, Michael.
Bye.
Good night, Patrick.
Hold on.
Thanks
Mom,
for
I
everything.
love you, sweetie.
Thanks.
Thank you
Till
so much
Bye-bye.
next
for
time.
everything.
Good
I'll
night.
see you
Good
next
night.
time.
Good night.
Merry Christmas.
Good night, John.
Merry
Bye.
Christmas.
Bye, Vita. Bye,
Happy
Sherry.
Hanukkah. Happy Kwanzaa.
Bye,
Happy
Joe.
Corey,
solstice.
so good to see you. Oh my God.
Yep. All right.
Okay.
Stay healthy and
Bye.
happy, everybody. Have a happy, happy, Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. And
Stay healthy
celebrate.
until we can meet
Yeah.
again.
Stay
Wear a
Yes.
mask.
For sure.
Wear a
Wear
mask.
a mask. Yes.
All right, guys.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
How do we do? Just put leave?
Just leave me.
Steve? Yeah.
Oh, I don't like this. Steven,
Yeah.
hey, so we can talk, okay?
What do you want to do?
I want you to call me so we can talk.
We can talk anytime you want.
Just call me. I always call you. You never call me. Call me.
I'll call you tomorrow.
Okay. All right. Love you.
Love
Bye-bye.
you.
So long, everybody.
Goodbye,
Bye.
Mike. Goodbye, Mike.
This is the thing where you see, like,
So, John,
Yes.
did everybody leave?
where were you?
No, not everybody. We're still here.
Well, this is 22 years we're doing this now, right?
Longer than that.
No, it's 22 years. We started in 98.
You're talking about with the reunions.
Yes.
Okay. 22. Yes.
It's our 22nd year.
Yes, it is.
And I miss our conversations. We haven't spoken in a while.
Well, that's true. You're a busy man.
But that never stopped you. That never stopped you from coming in to my chaos.
But with this lockdown or with this pandemic, I'm not going anywhere, Steve.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not
So you
visiting
haven't been out of the house since then, huh?
What?
You haven't been into Brentwood since then?
I haven't gone anywhere. No.
Right.
I haven't played music. I haven't done anything.
Wow.
Just isolated.
Oh, that's right. The music.
Yeah, nothing.
I forgot about that. Yeah, so I'll be. So we should catch up someday.
We will.
In the
We will.
next few days.
We will, Steve. We'll
All
catch up. As long as you're going to be living in New York State, we will. When you
Well,
move-
I'll be back and forth as normal.
Okay.
You know, I had some plans to go to Fort Lauderdale by the first week in January, but the lawyers that are handling this transaction. My lawyer's good. The other guys, the other party's lawyer is a little lackadaisical. So he's behind schedule and he's holding us all up. And so I may be still here in the operation until March or April. And it's not something I wanted to do because I wanted to alleviate my quarterly taxes from January, you know?
Oh.
And it just complicates things a little bit. I'm going to have to keep the corporation open until 2022 now.
Oh.
So, anyway, such is life. I may change my mind and throw them all out. You know, I can do that. I own everything, right?
Yes, that's right.
I could just tell them to go, you know what? So, we'll see. I haven't decided yet. I just feel bad for this kid because his lawyer is really screwing him around.
Oh, that's a shame. Oh.
Yeah. So, but I have a few choice words for this attorney, and I'll wait until the time is right, and I'll share my feelings.
Okay.
You know. But in any event, have a Merry Christmas, John.
You too, Steve. Thank you. Thank you very much.
And I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you for being here tonight. Thank you.
Yep. Okay.
Bye.
All right, buddy. Bye-bye.